Okay, the volumes look good. It looks like this is episode 54. The last one I did, at least I guess, I don't really remember. I had said that I was going to be doing this every 2 weeks, and then that quit. I do have a little bit better an excuse than usual for that, but it still won't really go over. It's definitely not something that you should take confidence in and then still be coming back to listen to this for any kind of advice. But this is Tim's 2 cents. I am back. Daniel has been harassing me, which is well-intentioned. I know it should be helping me more than it is, but it almost makes me go, well, no, I have nothing to say. I have nothing important. I have nothing to express, which I still don't. It's just that I had shit in my basement for like not in my basement, but my garage. My garage drain has backed up several times before, and this last, I think it was like a week and a half ago now, I lost the water to my house. They broke another storm drain or another, a water main in Pittsburgh someplace. So then that means I get really low pressure and then stuff doesn't move through as well. So it all clogs up and everything gets stuck. And that's always nice because then every time my stupid roommate wants to take a half-hour shower, it then fills up the garage because people can't understand things and I'm not allowed to physically harm them because they don't. I've been thinking a lot about how I really think there needs to be some kind of way to make yourself known in a vehicle. There has to be something less life-changing than just ramming into somebody who's taking up an entire lane where you can make a right turn, but they're going straight, but because they're sitting there not in the middle of the lane like they should be, but over, you can't make a right turn then. And then consequently all of the traffic behind everybody is backed up, and somehow that person is allowed to go forward unmolested, nothing happens to them. They've just caused an entire traffic backup because they want to go straight and they don't want to pay attention where their car is. There has to be some way of doing this stuff. Somebody needs to design. They already have stuff for like shutting down people's electronics. You should be able to just use that, just go by, just turn off their engine as they start to pull away, so they kind of just get stuck and then really block up traffic, or at least shut off their phone that you know they were looking at while they pulled up. And they're like, well, I don't have to move. I don't need to pull up to the person in front of me because I'm going straight and that's all that really matters. But yeah, besides taking out frustrations about having sewage in my garage on everybody else around me, I've been doing okay, I guess. Same thing with not doing the podcast. I didn't write for like over a week. Again, that was more excuses about me. I'm like, well, I don't have anything, but then every time I go and try to do something, I'm able to at least produce something. And I always end up telling myself that what every other writer says, that you just need to push stuff out. You kind of just need to force it. You can always fix it later. It's not like I'm writing this and immediately sending it off to publishing companies so that after 5 of them, they're going to get tired. No, I just make the stuff. I can fix it up later. I can leave it alone later, but at least I've gotten the idea out so it's no longer stuck in my head, because and I think that's going to be true for all kinds of things, not just writing, where it is probably better to just get the idea out, get it out on papers, because it helps you to just forget about it and not to worry about it, because you know it's already kind of structured, it's out there, and then it lets your mind not kind of have that little tiny bit of you that you're like, no, remember this, because there might be something here. Because you can just get on paper, one, you can see if there's anything there. There are definitely things I've started writing, and there's, not to say there's no way to salvage something, because an art, something like even a podcast, somebody will consume it, and there's a chance somebody will be like, this is great, but there's definitely things that I start that I just go, I don't even want to try to finish this. I don't see the point. It's not entertaining for me. I don't enjoy doing it, but maybe that's what I need to get over. Maybe I just need to start churning stuff out, like I was talking about in the last episode, about putting out just pulp stuff, because that's apparently all that people pay for. Although I think that has more to do with it Like pulp, if I'm going to be making money off of it, I just need to start making thrillers, because whatever genre you're reading, if you go to Walmart, the bookstore in Walmart is going to be romance novels and thrillers. And nowadays, thrillers come in every single genre, from science fiction to fantasy to horror. They're not really any of those things. There's no fantasy in the fantasies. There's no real science fiction. There's no real horror in a lot of quote-unquote horror books now. It's just what happens next. What is the mystery? You're not reading for you're not reading in the fantasy book because you want to learn about the world. You're not reading in science fiction because you want to see how things work in that kind of scenario. You're not reading the horror and getting the atmosphere and just the oppressive weight of everything. You're reading it because you go, oh, but what happens next? I need to use up the rest of my time. But I'm probably repeating myself. I'm breathing kind of heavy because I'm fat. I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I'm probably not doing, with not making me do podcasts, with not making me do writing, it's also then very easy to go, I'll just work out in my basement and not go to the gym and do tires and sleds and all this stuff that is probably going to be more active, is going to help me not have to breathe so heavily on this. And instead I'll just kind of fuck around in my basement, listen to music, which is what I did today, but I think I did a little bit better than usual. Like I said, well, one, I am doing this podcast. The last couple of days, I have finally been writing again. Again, it's not amazing stuff, but I feel better putting it out. I feel better getting it out. I've been putting off cleaning the rest of my house. Because you kind of, whenever you have sewage in your house, you kind of triage that at the top, where you go, oh yeah, things are messy in other parts of the house, but I need to kind of focus on the fact that there's sewage in my garage. And then that can get used for a lot of excuses as to why you don't do something later. And you're like, well, I was stepping in sewage before. I deserve a break, or I'm just too tired. I'm too frazzled. Part of it was, I'm pretty sure I inhaled quite a bit of cleaning fumes, and then also possibly just sewage fumes, where I had a bad headache for me. It's probably not that terrible for other people, but I just don't get them very much, and I find it very hard to focus on anything at that point. Again, I probably could. I definitely should have. Even if it wouldn't have been good, it still would have been better than, because I don't like sit down and watch a movie and relax. I just lay on like a couch or just walk around and watch YouTube videos on my phone. So it's not like it's relaxing. I'm not getting anything useful put into my brain. It's just some weird World War II history, or like whatever they're called, urban legends or some bullshit like that. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to consume some art so then it can maybe spark a little creativity in myself. It's not really anything like that. Before I go too much further, I do kind of need to figure out where this episode is going. But I did also want to mention, we have an official sponsor with eToro. And I don't think I ever told Daniel, but I've just been giving him kind of like a stock one. I want to kind of just put one in the episodes, a little bit more organic, not as weird. But eToro, they've been great for us. They've decided to support us, and they aren't one of these just kind of flash in the pan companies for crypto where you see kind of they pop up real quick, they take a bunch of people's money, and then whether it's completely shenanigans or not, they kind of lose some of that money, and people are like, oh no, what's going on? They have 14 cryptocurrencies to trade currently, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dash, Litecoin, and Zcash, and more. You can, again, if you sign up, you can find that on there. And you can follow real-time market trends with their crypto newsfeed, charts, and advanced analysis tools. If you do want to get in depth with it, you definitely can. If you're not so much into that, if that seems a little too kind of aggressive at first for you, or a little too daunting, that's too much, it's very easy to use. It's very simple. You're not going to accidentally buy the wrong coin. At least hopefully not. It's pretty delineated where you're doing and what you're doing. But one of the cooler things about it, I did mention that they've been around for a while. They've been around since 2007. around before Bitcoin. They're not just here just to kind of make a quick buck on people thinking they're going to get super rich on magic internet money. But you get a free $100,000 virtual account whenever you sign up for eToro. And that means that you can go on and you can figure out what you want to do. You can practice with some of the stuff. You can, kind of try your hand at, okay, well, I read this chart for Stellar and now I think maybe right now would be a good time to put $5,000 in. We can't really do that. Most of us don't have that kind of money. With the $100,000 virtual account, you can do that, see what happens, kind of get the ropes and see how well you might do if you put in some of your own money. And if nothing else, it's a cool feature. It's fun just to see. You can have a little competition with me and Daniel and Zach. Everybody's kind of involved with it now and running a fake or virtual portfolios. But I think it does also have a usefulness in letting you practice with stuff like that. Anyway, go to them, and just so they know that you came through us, go to btc.com/trade. That will let eToro know that you heard about them through us and that you'd like to get them to send us more money by going, oh yes, I'd love to use your service, and we would appreciate that, and we appreciate eToro. Anyway, I'm doing this podcast now because, again, I said I had to get something out. I figure it's best to just do it instead of just continuing to go, oh, well, I'll do that at some other point when I feel more like doing it. I'm kind of in the air right now as to whether or not I'm sleeping someplace else. I'm supposed to be getting a call, so I'm also kind of just wasting some time before I have to leave to go someplace. The Pittsburgh Steelers are playing in my city on a Monday night. I mean, it's Pittsburgh. But that means that everything is fucked up because all of the roads around Pittsburgh are apparently fucked up. Certain mornings I have to go down real early to walk a dog, and because of whatever they've done to the stuff going into the south side of the city, it takes 40 minutes to do so because they have multiple points trapped down to one-way traffic, because that's a smart thing to do for weeks at a time for every single person trying to go to work. It's like, it's 7:30 and it's 7:15 and I'm sitting in traffic, and it's like, guys, there has to be a better way of doing this. I'm kind of just talking and rambling at this point because my retarded roommate is, for some reason, listening to his books out loud because he doesn't really listen to books. This is what I'm talking about with fantasy, whatever genre you're listening to. Everything's a thriller because nobody is reading a book for how good it's going to be or how interesting it's going to be. It's just something to take up your time. That's the whole shtick of Audible, is you're in a situation that you do not want to be in. You have no desire to be stuck doing this. So you're just like, well, I might as well read. It's better than listening to music. It makes me smart. And I have my issues with music. I think I've mentioned on here. I've tried to tone down. I mean, that's a joke, but how much music I've listened to, how much of my time I kind of just spend zoning out to that, especially at the gym. Sometimes I'll just try to go with no headphones. And sometimes I focus better, sometimes not, obviously, but driving is another big one where I'll kind of just drive around in silence because I just want to let my mind think. If I'm listening to music constantly, I just focus on that. And it seems like you can kind of brainwash your way into feeling a certain way depending on what music you're listening to, and I don't really like the idea of that. Or at least, I don't like the idea of me doing it unconsciously and without me noticing. If I want to be in a certain mood, I can listen to certain music, but I don't want that to be an all-the-time thing where I'm kind of just, oh yeah, I'll just go wherever this goes. But yeah, so a lot of my time recently has spent just being ornery and annoyed with people because I had shit in my garage, and I feel like that's a good enough excuse for quite a few things, so I'm going to keep using it. What else has happened? Not really much, because it seems like every goddamn day there's something awful that's happened, but something even worse has happened 2 days before, so everybody remembers that something happened. If you ask somebody about something, they go, oh yeah, no, that definitely happened. but everybody's past caring. If there's a plan to force America to just go completely just stupid with drugs, whether that be SSRIs, antidepressants, Xanax, marijuana, maybe the big push for legalized marijuana is just to get people not to care, like how they do in North Korea, where you might not eat, you might have to work 12-hour days, but at least you get to smoke a joint whenever you get back, and remember that everything's fine as long as you can be high. I don't think they need to do that here, because we've never had the problem with forgetting problems we've had. We're always very good at just ignoring something just because 24 hours has passed. And we go, oh yeah, but like, what's happening on the talk shows? What are the celebrities doing? Did you see what she was wearing at this? I'm like, guys, they own you. They own everything. The Federal Reserve is nothing. We're just printing money for no reason. We're just printing this so that we can sell it back to ourselves because the United States is just one big money-making scheme for everybody that isn't us. And then everyone's like, yeah, but did you see her dress? Have you seen her ass? Did you see what Kim Kardashian said? She's retarded, but she's so hot and she's amazing. And let's just think more about wanting to fuck people who will never get to fuck. Let's just spend more time fantasizing about things and just imagining how things will be whenever I make it, whenever I get mine. How great will things be? And if you're doing that in earnest, fine. If you're actually having delusions of grandeur where you become a world dictator and your word is law, good, power, more power to, like, that's at least useful fantasizing. These people don't even have good fantasies. Their fantasies are just like, well, I just want to sustain myself on my, my sketchbook and blah, 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 blah. Like, it's not even it's a super attainable goal, but it has nothing to do with how hard you try at something. Making money off of your art it never has. I'm not like, well, no, things have just gotten so bad. No, it's just, the art and selling things has always been a mixture of talent and just talking people into liking you. That's all comedy is just building up a persona and then just, like, especially now. I mean, I think maybe in the past people used to actually change their acts. Now we praise these people because they're doing the same act over and over. And they're like, they're honing their craft. And it's like, it's laughter. It's not this science where, I mean, that's the thing, is it is a science, but I don't like it like that. I don't like well, let me just repeat this until I get the joke perfectly and I always get a laugh. I hit this and I always get a laugh. It shouldn't, if someone's actually funny, because it's not funny, then it's maybe humorous, but it's not funny. I don't laugh at stand-up specials. I laugh at seeing two people sideswipe each other on my way to go walk a dog because everybody's freaking out because Pittsburgh decided to fuck their roads up. And so everybody's losing their minds, doesn't know how to merge correctly. That's funny. Not fucking Kevin Hart's special that he's done for 2 years. Anyway, again, a lot of ornery, a lot of anger, a lot of thinking that Kevin Hart hasn't had shit in his garage. But yeah, it's getting darker now. I don't mind going back into the colder season. I'm getting a little bit over summer. I'm going to miss being able to kind of tan most of the time and it being nice and warm. But I don't mind. I'm still, deep inside me, I'm still a fat kid. So winter or fall and winter are always the best times because you can put more clothing on. I still look quite a bit better with clothing on than naked because I still have the remnants of a fat kid body. I still have like these little man tits. So any kind of clothing I can put on top of that, I can just look more and more bulky, which is fine with me until that comes off. And then people are like, wait, why are you squishy? And I'm like, oh, well, I decided that I really liked bread whenever I was 12. But yeah, I mean, I've had things in the past. I don't really think it's been a seasonal depression, part of it was for a couple years, I just would have like the landscaping, and then going into the fall, I wouldn't have a job. Winter, the beginning, I wouldn't have a job, and then I'd get a job because I'd be like, oh, I need money. And then from then on, I just work all the time until I started doing landscaping again. So it wasn't a good cycle. So having the steady work definitely helps. And I think I'm just a little bit less susceptible to that. I'm a little bit more, not confident in myself, but confident in how I feel. It's not bouncing around constant, or it just changes so much while I'm driving around, not listening to music, that I'm just like, well, this is kind of pointless to just go off of how I feel because this constantly changes. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Halloween, October. I like spooky stuff. I'm sure there'll be more shitty horror books that come out that I'll buy because it's part of some anthology put out for Halloween for some kind of weird charity, and they won't be good, but I'll still read them. At least part of them. But yeah, I mean, as far as advice, like I said, you shouldn't be taking any advice from a man who's dealing with sewage problems in his garage in a duplex apartment. But also the family that lives on the other side of the duplex from me is not, they don't seem like they have their shit much together either, but they're like in their 50s, 60s. So it makes me not feel as bad, but maybe that's not good. Maybe I'm not learning my lesson. Either way, I kind of have to wrap this up a little bit because I have to leave regardless if I'm doing an overnight or not. And I actually need to ask the people if I am doing that. They kind of left me just to kind of guess, I guess, whether or not they wanted me to do it, which probably isn't how it should work. But yeah, just, I guess, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. You won't necessarily get anywhere. You won't necessarily nobody's gonna go, good job, we're so proud of you for what you're doing. But you at least won't fall into a rut. You won't break up. There's no benefit from dropping out of a cycle. There's the only thing that's really going to make you better, or at least help you do something whenever you don't want to, is the fact that you've done it for the last 2 weeks. If I stop going to the gym now, I won't go to the gym for several days. It's quite a bit easier to just run on discipline and let yourself just, okay, well, I have to do it. And ideally, you don't want to constantly be doing that. And I think I can honestly say that whenever I was writing consistently, it wasn't every day where I was like, I need to do this now. But it was kind of, I want to do this. I have an idea. I want to get this out. And it's also just to kind of keep the things moving, keep the gears moving, so that whenever you do have a good idea, you're not struggling to get it out. You're not trying to find your voice again. You're not trying to find how you like to do things again. You can kind of just drop right into it and go, pump it out, and then you're happier with that than if you had the idea out of nowhere when, should I write it down? I'll kind of type it out a little bit and kind of fumble through. It's better to keep yourself running, to keep yourself going kind of consistently, instead of worrying about having to strike when inspiration happens. If you're going to do something, inspiration happens from you just kind of constantly making yourself think about something. You're going to come up with better stuff if you're focused on it more and more consistently. A lot of things deal with just doing something consistently, whether bad or good. If you're consistently lazy, you're going to be lazy. And it's very hard to change that. And I see plenty of people where, even in myself in certain things, where there's a disconnect between certain things, where you'll do certain things, you'll consistently do certain things, but then other things are just kind of, you'll do it like once a year, and then you just forget about it the rest of the time, and then it gets so bad that you just have to confront it and get it over with again, whether it's cleaning or whatever. So just keep doing stuff, keep focusing on that. Don't focus on the news. Don't listen to any of this stuff, because apparently nobody else gives a shit either. Everyone else wants to be informed, but then the next day they want to be informed as to why it doesn't matter that they're informed, but now they're informed about this new thing that's even more important, or at least covers up for that other thing. It makes it okay because, well, he did this, but you know why he did that? It's because maybe possibly this happened, and it's, well, these aren't related. Why don't you explain the first thing first? But again, so many people have said that, and again, nobody cares because Steelers football. It's football night in Pittsburgh. We're going to go get fucked up at the tailgate. We're going to drink some icy lights. I'm dropping stuff. I'll have to take that out probably. That's a little too loud. I dropped my water bottle. Oh, that was the other thing, is somebody drank at my house over the weekend. They left some icy light cans. And on the icy light can, it says, let's raise another, which I don't understand how, with all the dumb legal things and how after every commercial there has to be something about how if you have a problem with gambling, call us. If you have a problem with drinking, call us. At parks, there's the things about not smoking because of young lungs, which I get. People are losers, but I understand them putting them up. But then under that, it's like, do you need help quitting nicotine? Call blah, 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 this. But then you have a beer can that says, let's raise another. I'm pretty sure I know what it's in reference to. It's in reference to some dumb thing with the pirates and raising a flag. But it still seems a little blatantly, just like, yep, no, just drink another. It doesn't matter. The pirates aren't going to get better. They've been bad since Tim was born. Just drink another beer. And that's pretty much how it has been since about 1993. The Pirates have basically consistently year to year shit the bed. And that's my point. If you're year to year shitting the bed, then whenever you do get a good player, you don't know what to do with them, and you'll just continue to shit the bed more than likely. Also, besides eToro, again, check them out at yumiandbtc.com/trade. Let them know you came to them through us. Also, you can check out mountbaker.vapor, vaporizers, e-liquids. Depending on where you live, you might not be able to get them pretty soon because everyone's blaming lung cancer on those. Instead of being like, oh yeah, maybe it's the stoners who are smoking an entire gram of wax at a time. Maybe they're the ones having lung irritation. But check the Mount Baker Vapor. They have devices. They have different mixes as far as PG, VG of e-juice. They only have the two mixes now, I think, where it's the max VG or 50/50. So they don't have all the best ones that I liked, but it's probably better for your throat. It's not as harsh as far as the 50/50 or the max VG. Max VG is kind of just obnoxious though. But check them out. You can go to tim.town/clouds. That also lets me know that you guys are listening. That lets Mount Baker know that you heard about them. You came to them through me, and so then they can give me probably no money, but everything counts. It's the thought that counts, right, guys? And I really think about your thoughts a lot. It's very important to me. Anyway, thank you for listening. Bye.